wanna do, 'cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a pair of lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm caught in the middle of life, and I need
minute basis. The whole thing that the whole deal that we've seen unfold over the last few days, the details of which are not entirely clear, could collapse at any moment, especially given the prior conduct of Israel's government. And so I've had to, shuffle various interviews and commitments in order to remain up to date as to what's happening. So unfortunately, I only have, about 10 minutes today. I normally like to spend a lot more time talking to you. It's always a wonderful conversation that I have with you, but today my time is limited, sadly.
So your 10 minutes, this is what'll happen. Just go into it. Just tell us what's on your mind, what's going on, and what you hope to come out of all of this. And I'll sit back and be a spectator.
That's very kind of you. Thank you for giving me that latitude. Look, I think that this is, again, what's happening in Gaza is so important for so many reasons. It's not simply because it is a genocide and it is it has inflicted upon the Palestinian people unspeakable suffering. But this is really important for, I think, the evolution of international relations and the distribution of power in the world today, what's happening in Gaza. Effectively, the people of Palestine are on the front line of a titanic struggle that's taking place between, I'll simplify it, between the East and the West. And the titanic struggle is between a Western US-dominated power structure that has enjoyed pretty much unchallenged hegemony globally since the dissolution of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s. And, rising powers principally in Asia, but not just in Asia, in other parts of the world like South America and Africa, that want to be treated with respect and want to be treated as sovereign nations and expect other nations, including the United States, Britain, France, Germany, and so forth, to treat them as equals at the table. That's the titanic struggle that's taking place. And, tragically for the Palestinian people, as I said, they're on the front line of that struggle. So what happened over the past 48 hours, I think, is not only potentially very important for Palestinians, which is, I think, ought to be our first concern because of what has been done to them, which is a genocide. But it potentially is very important historically for this titanic struggle that I've been talking about. From what I can tell, this constitutes a strategic defeat for Israel and for the West, because none of Israel's objectives have been achieved. Israel stated that it wanted to destroy Hamas. Whatever you may think of Hamas, its fundamental purpose is to put up armed resistance to the oppressor of the Palestinian people. Whether you agree with all of the tactics that is employed, and many people, of course, condemn the tactics that it's employed, a lot of what it does is legitimate resistance. And it's not just Hamas, of course. There are other Palestinian resistance groups in Gaza and in other parts of Palestine that have been opposing the destruction of the Palestinian people with complete justification. So Israel has agreed to a ceasefire without any guarantee that it's going to get back all of its hostages. In the first stage, it will get back a significant number if this deal goes through. But it'll have to make further concessions to get the remainder of them. And these are concessions that are entirely reasonable for the Palestinians to ask for. It has agreed to do this without Hamas being destroyed, which it said it was determined to do. It has agreed to do this to allow all the Palestinians to move back to their homes, including in northern Gaza. And it was very clear, I think, for months that Israel was desperately trying to clear northern Gaza of all Palestinians so that it could set up settlements there. It has taken very significant casualties, particularly in northern Gaza in the last few months, even after 15 months of genocide. It has agreed to withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor, which is the phrase we use to describe the border between Gaza and Egypt. And that's very important. Who occupies it and controls it's very important, because that controls, who can get in and out of Gaza through Egypt, and what humanitarian aid and other supplies can get into Gaza from Egypt. So they've agreed that on the final day of the first stage of the ceasefire, they're going to withdraw from that. So this is, by all appearances, a strategic defeat for Israel, and for, I think, a very significant blow to the West's ongoing efforts to maintain complete dominance of this oil-rich region, which is ultimately what this is all about. So what's really interesting to me also is how this happened. Why has this happened? I think certainly part of the reason is because Israel has failed. It's failed to destroy Hamas. It's failed to avoid further casualties. It's failed to seize permanent control of any significant part of the Gaza Strip. But also it appears, based on the media reports we're getting, that Donald Trump sent his envoy, a fellow by the name of Witkoff, to strong-arm Netanyahu into doing this deal. And everybody was saying on the Democratic side that Donald Trump was going to be even worse for the Palestinians and the indigenous peoples of West Asia than Biden had been. Well, it doesn't look like that way right now. We'll have to see how this all plays out and what other nefarious plans Trump might have for the region. But all the accounts are that what really caused this to happen was Trump told Netanyahu that he had to do the deal. And in a matter, there were Arab diplomats who were going to the Western press and saying that in one day, Donald Trump did more to end this war than the Biden administration did in 15 months. That's quite a remarkable development. I don't know what it's going to mean for the next 4 years, but maybe, just maybe, Donald Trump is inclined to accept the new global reality that the United States can no longer dominate the planet. We'll have to see. I certainly hope that that's what is happening here. That's what's going on here. I don't think it has anything to do with Donald Trump's concern for human rights or the minimization of the suffering of the Palestinian people, but maybe he has a realistic appreciation of what is and is not possible in terms of U.S. power in the world today. And if he does, that'll be a good thing for everybody, not just for the Palestinian people. So that's my
told you to walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a